Hermes Desktop versus Web UI for beginners. Which one should you actually use? What if you've been setting up Hermes Agent the hard way this whole time? What if there's a version that skips all the terminal stuff? And what if the Web UI you keep hearing about is actually doing something completely different under the hood? Most people just pick one and run with it. There's a real difference between these options, and choosing wrong means you're either missing features or making your life harder than it needs to be. I'm the digital avatar of Julian Goldie. I help people actually learn and use AI tools in their work. And today I'm breaking down exactly what Hermes Desktop does, what the Web UI options do, how they compare, and which one you should be using right now. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which setup fits your workflow and why that matters more than most people realize. Let's start from the beginning because a lot of people are confused about what Hermes actually is before we even get into the interface question. Hermes Agent is an open-source autonomous AI agent built by Nous Research. It's not just a chatbot. It's an agent that lives on your machine, remembers things across sessions, and has access to real tools, terminal access, file operations, web search, a memory system, and a skills engine that actually improves over time. The longer you use it, the more it learns about your environment. Most AI tools reset every single session. You have to re-explain yourself every time. Hermes doesn't do that. Now here's where people get confused. There are multiple ways to interact with Hermes. You've got the command line. You've got Hermes Desktop, a native app. You've got Open Web UI, a browser-based interface that connects to Hermes through its API server. And you've got Hermes Web UI, a completely separate, lightweight web app built specifically for Hermes. These are all different things, and I want to make sure you understand each one before we compare them. Let's talk about Hermes Desktop first. Hermes Desktop is a native desktop application built with Electron. Runs on macOS and Linux. You download it from the releases page on GitHub, install it, and it handles almost everything automatically. The very first launch, the app checks whether Hermes Agent is already installed on your machine. If it's not, it runs the official Hermes installer for you. Then it walks you through setting up your AI provider. You choose from OpenRouter, Anthropic, OpenAI, or a local model setup. It saves your configuration, stores everything in the right places, and opens up the main workspace. No command line required. No manually editing config files. No terminal at all if you don't want one. Once you're inside, you get a clean native interface with all the main screens. There's the chat screen for talking to Hermes with streamed responses, sessions for browsing and reopening past conversations, an agent screen for managing and switching active profiles, skills for inspecting bundled and installed skills, persona for editing your active profiles, soul and persona, memory to view your profile memory files, tools to enable or disable toolsets, settings for provider and gateway configuration. For local model users, Hermes Desktop includes presets for LM Studio, Ollama, VLLM, and Llama.cpp out of the box. So if you're running models locally, you can set that up right away with just a base URL. Hood, Hermes Desktop is a front end that wraps the Hermes CLI. When you send a message, it goes through the local Hermes command line tool and streams the response back into the UI. All of Hermes' actual agent behavior, the tools, the memory, the skills, is powered by the core Hermes agent runtime. Desktop app just gives you a native GUI to interact with it. One thing worth knowing, Hermes Desktop is actively in development. Features may change and some things might break. It supports macOS and Linux right now. Windows is not yet supported. For people who want to avoid the terminal entirely, it's currently the easiest way into Hermes. Now let's talk about the Web UI options, because this is where most of the confusion happens. When I first started using Hermes, I was overwhelmed by all the different ways to access it. That's when I created the AI Profit Boardroom, a community of over 2,000 people, all focused on learning AI tools together and sharing what actually works. The community shares real use cases and practical implementations. If you're serious about using AI to improve your work and skills, check it out. Link in the description. Okay, back to the web interfaces. There are two completely different browser-based interfaces associated with Hermes, and people mix these up all the time. The first is Open Web UI. This is a massive project, 135,000 stars on GitHub, making it the most popular self-hosted AI chat interface right now. It supports Ollama and OpenAI-compatible APIs, has built-in RAG support with 9 different vector database options, image generation, voice and video call features, user accounts, role-based access control, and multi-model conversations. It runs in your browser on localhost at port 3000 and is installed via Docker or pip. Here's what's interesting. Hermes Agent can connect directly to Open Web UI through its built-in API server, which exposes an OpenAI-compatible endpoint. You enable the API server in Hermes, point Open Web UI at it, and you're using all of Open Web UI's polished interface as your front end, while Hermes handles all the actual work behind the scenes. Open Web UI sends a standard chat completions request to Hermes' API server on port 8642. Hermes receives it, creates an agent instance with its full toolset, processes your request, which may involve terminal commands, file operations, or web search, and streams the final response back. With streaming enabled by default, you'll see brief inline progress indicators as tools execute before the agent's final answer appears. Key thing to understand technically, the Hermes API server is not just passing your message to an LLM. It's running a full agent runtime. Tool calls happen on the machine where the Hermes server is running. So if Hermes is on a remote server and Open Web UI is on your laptop, the file access, the terminal, the web search, all of that executes on the server, not on your laptop. That's documented explicitly in the official Hermes docs, and it matters for remote setups. Hermes agent repository also includes a setup script, setup open webui.sh, that configures the whole combination in one go. API server sets up the environment variables, restarts the gateway, and on macOS installs a launchd background service, or on Linux installs a systemd user service, so Hermes starts automatically. Solid convenience for anyone who wants this running persistently. The second web interface is Hermes Web UI, an entirely separate community project from GitHub user Nesquena, not from News Research directly. It's a lightweight, dark-themed web app built with pure Python and vanilla JavaScript. No build step, no framework, no bundler required. 3-panel layout, left sidebar for sessions and tools, center for chat, right panel for workspace file browsing. The goal is near complete feature parity with the Hermes CLI from a browser. It includes streaming responses, multi-provider model support, inline tool call cards showing the tool name and result, mermaid diagram rendering, session management with search and tags, cron job management through a tasks panel, a skills panel, and a memory panel to view and edit your memory files directly in the browser. The recommended access method for remote use is an SSH tunnel. You run the web server on your machine or remote server, set up a one-command SSH tunnel from your local machine, and open it in any browser, including your phone. The start.sh script automatically prints the SSH tunnel command for you when it detects you're on a remote machine. One thing worth emphasizing before we wrap up, the interface is not the agent. Hermes agent is where the actual capability lives, the memory system, the self-improving skills, the scheduled jobs that run while you're offline, the cross-session recall. The interface is just how you talk to it. The skills system is worth spending time on. Hermes writes and saves its own skills automatically from experience. After completing a complex task, it can create a skill so it handles that task better next time. No marketplace to browse, no plugins to install, it builds its own capabilities from use. The memory system is similarly underrated. Hermes maintains a user profile, agent notes, and a library of reusable procedures. It learns your environment and doesn't have to relearn it every session. If you only ever use Hermes as a regular chatbot, you're leaving most of its actual value on the table. If you're looking to dive deeper into AI tools and actually implement them in your work, I recommend AI Profit Boardroom. For 2,000 people learning how to use AI effectively. Everyone shares real experiences, what's working, what's not, which tools are worth your time, which ones to skip. No hype. Just solid information and practical guidance from people doing the work. It's helped me stay on top of updates and figure out how to actually apply them. Link in description if you want to check it out. If you want the full process, SOPs, and 100 plus AI use cases like this one, join the AI Success Lab. Links in the comments and description. You'll get all the video notes from there, plus access to our community of 58,000 members who are crushing it with AI. Pick the interface that fits where you are right now. Hermes Desktop if you want zero terminal friction. UI if you want the most powerful browser setup. Hermes Web UI if you want something lightweight and remote accessible. All three access the same agent, the same memory, the same skills. You can switch anytime without losing a thing. Go explore what Hermes can actually do, because most people are barely scratching the surface.